Pass rush continues to come up big, narrowing down Super Bowl contenders, and one reason the Orlando Brown Jr. trade was a success. Special guests include Vinny Pasquantino at 10:30, Jay Binkley at 11, and Nate Taylor at 1. Now, a man who needs no introduction.
I mean, some kind of introduction would be good. You normally say my name, Nick.
Well, no, that's why I said you don't need an introduction.
By the way, bad news on the video stream. You did not change the title, so it says World Cup Streaming Watch Party.
I don't know what that means.
Well, that means back on the Restream page on the web browser, Rob Britton, who had set up the live stream for the World Cup Streaming Watch Party yesterday, did not change the title. So
okay, so all I'm hearing is that it's Rob Britton's fault.
Yeah, that's probably fair, but it's for you to fix it. Or to ignore it and just let it say
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Oh.
So what do you want me to do?
It doesn't matter.
Is this an on-air conversation or an off-air conversation?
No, I think we can solve this in the off. We can solve this in the next...
So everybody is going to be tuning in thinking they're getting a World Cup watch party.
Which may or may not make them tune in at all. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't think...
Also, like, what World Cup... It's not even like the U.S. game. We're just
playing right now, Jed.
Right now is Mexico-Poland. I need to change the channel.
As do I.
Wait, that's not a good game?
No,
it's a good game. I meant I need to change it so I can watch it because I just have 3 talking head idiots on.
Mexico gonna turn them into some Polish sausages?
I don't like working with you, Nick.
I mean, like,
just honest. Let's just be honest.
That was slang for is Mexico gonna win?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Big start to the show. Nick is obviously in for Alex today, Jed in for Nick. And I'm just myself, so everything's kind of working normal outside of that normal range. Coming up at 10:30, our VNFL insider, Vinny Pasquantino, will join the show at 11, Jay Binkley, and then at 1 o'clock, Nate Taylor of The Athletic will join us as well. So plenty of things to get to today, and no more to start than the Chiefs' defense, and specifically the defensive line. In passing yesterday, Nick, just as we were ending the show, I had asked you a very quick trivia question of, do you realize where the Chiefs rank in sacks in the NFL?
And because I'm smart, I did.
Well, you said it was higher than you thought it would be, then you guessed 7th, and then I told you it was 4th.
But that's pretty close. I pretty much knew.
I bet you didn't think I'd have that kind of recall so quickly for where exactly you stood on that conversation.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't think you would remember because I didn't even remember, so.
That was the exact number. I think we can probably pull it back and everything. But it's not just like when you say that, you're like, wow, that really stands out. 8th in pressures in the NFL, 4th in sacks in the NFL. You start to realize very quickly that we might need to be at the conversation point that we stop putting qualifiers on the Chiefs pass rush, and more importantly, end the conversation about the Chiefs pass rush being bad. I thought going into the year they would be, because I didn't think they were going to do anything to address it. They then added Carlos Dunlap, and I thought that they could be average, is how I thought it could be. And they're better than that. They are better than that. They are 4th in the NFL, as you'd mentioned, with 32 sacks. Now, they're tied with the Bucs and the 49ers and the Jets and the Saints. And they're right there with other teams. But so one game could change it. Similar to the 5-sack performance on Sunday did change their ranking. But they're not bad. They're good. They're a good pass rush team. And I think it gets frustrating for fans because what they want to see on the field is a team that just never-endingly destroys the quarterback under all circumstances. And that's just simply how it doesn't work. Like, that's not how the NFL is. The Chiefs get more pressure on a consistent basis than almost every other team in the NFL. I just told you they rank top 10 in both pressures and sacks, which means there are 2/3 of the NFL that wishes they had your situation. Chris Jones is a huge reason why, who we can talk about individually here in a little bit, but that's obviously a big boost. But they're getting competent play out of Dana and Dunlap and Clark and and honestly, every blitz Spags sends that includes Willie Gay and Snead and all those other guys, that they are a top 10 pass rush unit in the NFL. A sentence I was not prepared to say at any point this year.
The Chiefs had 31 sacks in 2021 in 17 games. They have 32 sacks in 10 games this year. They have already surpassed their season total from a year ago And
That's
there
Week
are
10.
7 games to play. There are 2 months left in the season. They have as many guys with 3 or more sacks this year as they did all of last season. It's not just that Chris Jones is playing at an elite level. If I would have asked you before the season to say, okay, Chiefs pass rush is going to make massive improvements in 2022, tell me all of the circumstances. Tell me everything that needs to happen. Chris Jones playing like an all-pro would have been the first thing you said. That's the non-negotiable.
Correct.
If he's not producing, then you have no chance. Aside from that, it would have been one of 2 things. You would have said, well, somebody else has to chip in and have a really productive
7,
sack
8, 9
season.
sacks.
Or you need production all over the field. And that is exactly what the Chiefs are getting. I mean, look at all the guys who have multiple sacks this year. Carlos Dunlap with 4. L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed is quietly having a really, really impressive season. He's got 3 forced fumbles. He's got 3.5 sacks. Frank Clark's got 3. Willie Gay has 2.5. Colin Saunders has 2.5. Nick Bolton has 2. Mike Dana got 2 just the other night. You're getting production from all over. You don't really have, I mean, if you want to say Carlos Dunlap's that second guy, the Robin to Chris Jones's Batman, you could do that. But really, this is about the depth, and I give a lot of credit to Steve Spagnuolo for dialing up these exotic blitz packages and just never becoming predictable on where that pressure is coming from.
Yeah, notice I didn't say they have a really good defensive line. I wasn't willing to go that far because that's not an accurate sentence. Their defensive line is relying on Chris Jones and Carlos Dunlap, essentially. Dunlap, who's going to head right barreling towards his career average. He's going to finish somewhere between 7 and 9 sacks, which is what he gets every single year. He's an NFL pro. Chris Jones is going to finish up near his career high in sacks, which is what you said we would have needed in order to accomplish that. But you're right. It's Spags who deserves a fair amount of credit for this. Because if you're going to get the combination of 6 sacks between Sneed and Gay, then you're going to get 8 when you add in Bolton. Okay, now let's add in Chenal, 9. Let's add in Harris, 11. 11 of you're getting a third of your sacks from not the defensive line? That's a wild number.
But that's what Spags does, right? That's what even if you don't like Spags, like that's what he's always been successful at. That's why he has been in the league so long, is because he is about as good as anybody at coming up with unpredictable, exotic blitz packages that bring pressure from all over the field.
I'm surprised, I guess, to this point that they. Now, here's the other part. Can that last forever? Because like if it's a defensive line, Nick, let's look across the league, right? Whoever else you think. I mean, I think it's fair to probably say the Eagles or the Cowboys are probably the best defensive lines in the NFL, right? Or the best pass rush teams in the NFL because Micah Parsons is on their team and he's very good, and they get more sacks than just about anyone else in the NFL. But I mean, if you look at them, it's not like, what they get them from? Like most good pass rush teams, from the defensive line. That's where they get them from. Micah Parsons has 10. Dorrance Armstrong, a defensive end, has 7. DeMarcus Lawrence, a defensive end, has 6. Dante Fowler, a defensive end, has 5. Like, you got to get to the 5th guy on the list before you get to pass rushers. Like, you only got to get down 2-3 guys on the list for the Chiefs before you start talking about the guys who have the number of sacks we're talking about. Because that would be in a weird way, I feel like it's more sustainable for the Chiefs. Because if you just told me right now they were 4th in the NFL in sacks, but it was because Frank Clark was playing well, would you feel like that was going to hold up forever, Nick? Because I don't think I would. I don't think that I'd be super confident that was going to last an eternity.
If Frank Clark had 6.5 sacks, you would be calling him a fraud right now?
Not a fraud, but I mean, it seems...
You're waiting for it to fall off?
Yes. Is that unreasonable? Because I understand, like, they can always blitz guys. Like, I don't know that that's going away unless you just aren't successful at getting them there, or if it's going to burn you in some other situations. Like, I don't know why that's not as sustainable as counting on inconsistent defensive linemen to be consistent, if that makes sense.
How good has the defense been specifically in the second half?
Oh, pretty much every adjustment.
You gave up 7 points versus the Chargers in the second half, and it was only because it was a busted coverage on the Keenan Allen bomb. I mean, a lot of the points you're giving up, you go back the week before to the Jags. That was a garbage time touchdown. Same thing with the Niners. I think they scored late in that game when the game was already over. The Titans, the Titans didn't do anything in the second half. They had 3 points in second half and overtime combined. They pitched a perfect game. This is what I think we're seeing right now, the best we have ever seen Steve Spagnuolo in his time at Kansas City. I know people get frustrated because they will give up the big plays. That is always going to be a reality of a Steve Spagnuolo-led defense, is they're going to try a lot of stuff. And when they miss, they're going to miss big, and they're going to have busted coverages, and they're going to give up big plays downfield.
Like Palmer in the last game, you mean?
Yeah, or Keenan Allen. But when they are on, they're going to go on a 4-game stretch where they look like a top 10 defense in the NFL, which is what I think we're seeing right now.
Because which is weird. I thought the defense would improve, and they are improving. I just never counted on that being in the defensive end. I just assumed on the sack end. I just assumed for a majority of this, Nick, that what we were largely going to see was a secondary that slowly got better over time and a creative Steve Spagnuolo, kind of work through those things. Like, that's kind of what I had anticipated, throughout that time and how they would improve defensively. A lot of this is whether or not, can Spags keep, I guess, being creative enough to do it? But I don't care. They're a good pass rush team. If you're fourth in the NFL, and as you pointed out, already have as many sacks as you had in 17 games last year, then you are dramatically improved. By the way, as part of that conversation, if you'd have told me right now, going into the season, you'd be like, hey, they're going to have as many sacks they did all of last year in Week 10, they'd be fourth in the NFL, and the Chiefs would be 7-3. I would have assumed George Karlaftis had 4, maybe 5 sacks, right? I would have thought for that to happen, George Karlaftis was going to have, really strong rookie year. Maybe finish with 5 or 6 sacks, right? Be at that number that made it feel like he was an impactful rookie pass rusher. And I understand he leads the rookie pass rushers in pressures right now, but he only has the half sack to his name. So it feels like I would have almost needed that. And yet, no. They're just getting more guys from the secondary and more guys from the linebackers than ever. Turns out them being healthy and having them healthy makes a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, other guys are getting home, so I don't really have any complaints about Karlaftis, and I do think he's making an impact out there. It's just, for whatever reason, there have been a handful of moments, and eventually you need to see him improve on this. There have been a handful of moments where he's right there, he just hasn't made the play, and maybe somebody else has, where he's in the backfield and then it's Dunlap who brings him down. Or he's in the backfield and it's Chris Jones who brings him down. I would imagine over the course of the next 7 games, we got 10 games under his belt. Over the course of the next 7, we're going to start to see some production. I know he's only had half a sack this year, but I still think he's going to end around 3 or 4.
It would seem logical that he's going to finish with more because it seems like he's getting some pressure, but it sure be one of those that I'd like to see at situations. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll talk to our VinFL insider, Vinny Pasquantino, fresh off of his Italian vacation.
Talked to him yesterday. He seems very excited.
Ooh, he's ready to be back?
Yes, he is. We should ask him about if he knows about Wally Pipp.
Oh, if he's
because you
with...
tweeted about Wally Pipp, and he seemed to be confused by that reference.
As were you when the first time I brought up
you
Wally
just said
Pipp.
Yeah, but he's a professional baseball player, so he should know. I'm excused from knowing about Wally Pipp.
Why are you excused?
I'm not a
professional. That's like a common sports thing, Chad, right?
For sure.
I'm not a professional baseball player.
You've never heard that reference, though? That you're
Up until a month ago, he had not.
No, I think I had, but I didn't know what it meant.
It's a little bit like today. You're being pipped.
Who am I being pipped by?
Jed.
Well, then I'm pipping Gold.
That's fine. As
Okay.
long as we both have jobs, I'm fine with it.
Who are you pipping?
No one. I just get to do this.
And Cody's...
I pipped the last midday show. That's how this works.
Damn! Shots fired.
Well, that's just how the job works.
Wait a minute. You mean Jay Binkley?
No, that
Wow,
was
taking
two.
a shot at Binkley now.
That was 2 ago.
I bet you won't say that to his face when he's here at 11 o'clock.
That was 2 shows
You
ago.
won't. You're not man enough.
Okay.
Binkley will beat the hell out of you, Cody.
Wow, Binkley just texted in, Cody is a talentless hack who couldn't carry my jock strap. We'll see how tough he's talking when I get there and pummel his face with a pillowcase filled with bars of soap.
You know, honestly, this is even better play acting for somebody who is watching the video stream because you're making it look like you're reading that text on your computer.
The text is right here.
Okay.
I have it right here.
Okay, if you say so. Coming up in 15 minutes, though, we'll talk to Vinny Pasquantino. But obviously, Team USA had their first World Cup match yesterday, And I got to be honest, it left me feeling very similar to pretty much every other U.S. men's national team performance, which is underwhelmed. At some point, am I going to feel like the U.S. men's national team aren't just the Jets?
The Jets, it's like a laughingstock.
Yeah, pretty much. They are in a super big market. They're always like young and up and coming. They're never well coached, and they're just a mess constantly. They never win enough. They never accomplish anything. Occasionally, they'll get a little bit further than you expect and then lose. And it doesn't, like, there's no good logic in it. They should be better than they are, and then people will give them excuses. Like in New York, they'll find excuses for the Jets for why they're not better, and they'll find excuses for the U.S. men's national team, like, well, the other countries care more about soccer, and their best athletes go there, while just ignoring the fact that some of the best athletes in soccer in the world are like 5'8" and 160 pounds, and the U.S. women's national team is great all the time, just like the best program in the world. So I'm done with excuses. Like, can they just start showing actual progress? That's the game.
So
they're
that's your
supposed to
request.
win.
Like, be good, please.
It's been like 25 years of this conversation.
Your argument's a little bit flimsy in the sense when you talk about the women's national team specifically, because so many countries, it's the same, I don't know, counterintuitive argument that you're making against the men's national team, because the women's national team has put so many resources and been doing it for so much longer than different countries around the world. And it means, I don't like this term, but it means more. To me, I don't think there was anything disappointing about what the men's national team did yesterday. The refs were egregious. The penalty that Wales ended up getting in the box where Gareth Bale ended up putting away the PK was definitely a foul. But that was a match. Yes, they probably should have won. But still, I don't know. Seeing the youth, they're one of the youngest teams in the World Cup.
They're always, that's them always. They're always the oldest or the youngest, and the young guys are coming. It's the same. That's what you say about the
problem
Jets.
is,
Same thing. It's always they're young.
Well, you just said they're either young or old. You want youth when you're going up against teams of this nature. You have to admit that, like, if you watch the match, Cody, I'm not sure if you did, but you have to admit, like, seeing Pulisic and what they were able to do, there was a lot of really exciting play on the field. I think that you're being a little bit short-sighted.
Yeah, I agree with Jed, and this isn't the first time that Cody's been short-sighted, and it won't be the last time. I was actually watching the game with Cody yesterday, and I was proud. Terrible. I was proud to be an American.
He bet on Wales. Don't listen to him.
I was personally proud to be an American yesterday, just from the effort that the boys, USMNT, United States Men's National Team, Cody, I was proud of the effort that they put forth, and I agree. I think the officiating was shoddy at best. And I think they'll bounce back. You
think they're beating? So call for their win against England on Friday.
No, I'm not going to do that. But I do think that the playing style with England, who's going to want to be more aggressive as opposed to seeing the team that they played yesterday, the style, like U.S. is built to go and attack. They're not built to have a team that bunkers against them. So I do think that will be more of an exciting match than you're probably giving credit to. And Cody, we've seen this morning at 4 a.m., I'm sure you were up watching Saudi Arabia take down.
I did actually watch the last little bit of that because my kid got up at 5. No, my kid got up at 5, so I put it on. I watched from 5:15 to 6.
I can always tell when he's lying.
My kid got up at 5 a.m.
The point is, Argentina was one of the favorites, and we'll get more into this.
And they lost to Saudi Arabia?
Right, which is one of arguably the greatest upsets in World Cup history. But I think that's showing the fickle nature and it being played in off times in Qatar, or is it Qatar? Have we decided?
I think we decided we don't care, right? You can
do
I'm just going to keep calling it Qatar. But being played in off months and stuff like that, I know that it's still hot as hell there. But to me, I do feel like that there's going to be a lot more in play. And when you see arguably the betting favorite go down against Saudi Arabia,
Is it not okay? Like, is it acceptable for me to just be glad that this team is competitive? Because like you said.
Because they missed the World Cup the last time?
No, I don't even care about that. It's that. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's tied into it, but
because that's better. That's improvement.
It's that I know, as an American, I know this is not one of our more popular sports. You know why? Because nobody's ever talking to me about it. Nobody is that you go to sports bars, unless you go to a pub, like a soccer bar, they don't have soccer games on the TV. They have football, they have basketball, they have baseball, they have hockey. So it is what? The 5th biggest sport in America? Is it okay for me to be pleased with the fact that our team is just semi-competitive in a sport that is not even in the 4 most popular in our country?
I think that's fine. I would
love for them to be better.
Right.
But the idea that I'm going to expect you to be elite at this the same way you would at every other major sport in this country.
I know but like generally speaking, the U.S., like let's take Olympics in effect. The U.S. is world competitive in every sport, including, as you've mentioned, this one. But it feels like it's been so very long since they won significant games in this. Made you feel like there was a chance. To me, it's a little bit like college football, Nick, where, yeah, it's fine. Like, you can be happy that Kansas is competitive, and that's good. But at some point, I do want to turn the page to not just competitive, but instead valuable and matter and actually feel like you have a chance. Now, occasionally they make the round of 16 or whatever we're talking about, and if they come out of their group and we have these conversations a little bit different, it just feels like it's been a while since we did this. And look, the text line's a little bit split on it. Some of it's like, it would be nice. I can't think of the last time they're relevant. And then other people are just saying, why are you always so angry and negative?
Yeah, most people are saying that.
And to me, Cody, I mean, isn't that all of sport, though? Like, when was the last time the Sacramento Kings were relevant?
Yeah.
Like,
Never.
Pick any sport that you want.
2001, I think, honestly.
Probably with C-Webb and Vlade Divac and stuff like that.
Peja
Peja Stojakovic.
Hedo Turkoglu.
Yeah, for sure. But
Mike Bibby. Bobby Jackson.
We don't speak
Why
Mike
do you
Bibby's
know
Scott
the
name.
Pollard.
2001
That
Sacramento
was
Kings
an
so well?
insane
That was a
team.
squad, for
That was
sure.
an insane squad. Can we just talk more about that team? Like, if it weren't for the Lakers, if it weren't for Kobe and Shaq, how many titles would the Sacramento Kings have? And if it weren't for Kobe and Shaq, wouldn't that have altered the trajectory of that franchise? I mean, you just said it. They haven't been relevant in 2 decades.
Right.
If it weren't for them being in the same conference as one of the greatest duos, and you had KG in Minnesota at the time, they were a force as well. Like, that completely, that changes decisions, that changes free agent acquisitions and trades and roster construction. That would have completely altered the journey of that franchise. And who knows, maybe the Sacramento Kings would be good right now.
I know that there are
Maybe they
people on
wouldn't be a
vacation.
laughing stock.
I don't know that we want to get into.
I
Sacramento
guarantee you,
Kings
okay,
basketball.
I guarantee you, this is not even a shot at the World Cup, but I guarantee you there are just as many people listening that want to hear more about the early 2000s Sacramento Kings as want to hear about the World Cup. 913-586-7610. What is your opinion on the early 2000s Sacramento Kings?
Okay. We'll see how this goes. We can ask.
And do you think I'm dropping it when we get back from break? Or at 11
No,
o'clock?
we've got Vinny coming
Or
up.
at 12 o'clock. I bet you Vinny Pasquantino has it to take. Actually, wait, he's only like 25.
Yeah, he doesn't remember the
He's never
2001.
heard of any of
He
these
was like,
people.
He wasn't even born when the 2001 Sacramento Kings were
That's
in
not
action.
true,
What's a
but he
Mike
was
Bibby?
young. He was young. Mike Bibby is jacked, by the way, now. He, like, trains basketball players now. He looks weird. Steroids, probably.
It looks weird. Like he's giving them steroids? Or
By the way, we haven't talked about... We haven't talked... Oh, yeah, I forgot Jason Williams. White chocolate.
Yeah, white chocolate is a gangster.
We haven't talked about doing steroids in a while. Are we just giving up on that?
as the show?
Yeah.
No, I'm still open to it. We
God,
talked about all
you
doing
took some-
steroids and
you
getting
took-
jacked as
God,
a
if
show.
you took HGH, can you imagine your facial hair?
Would it be better or worse?
If you went on a cycle?
Would that help?
I think it would. One of those things would help you grow. Testosterone boosters, maybe.
It's pretty bad, man. I'm really looking forward to
It's looking
shaving.
better.
It's not.
Well,
Has
there's
this been the
more
whole
of it.
month?
There's more
Cody?
of it.
Yeah, this is the whole month.
I would just say there's more.
Does that make
hair
you
on
feel
your
better
face.
or worse about it?
Worse. Way worse. Oh, my God. This has
What?
been 3 days.
That's not
That's
true.
not true at all.
No, it's not. But I have had it, my beard trimmed and stuff like that. But seriously, I could grow a beard in like, I don't know, 3 days.
Yeah, you're a very hairy man.
Thanks, Nick.
No question about it.
Some people said they would. Nobody's saying they want to hear more about the Kings. Just more people want to hear about the Chiefs. Well, you can hear more from our NFL insider, Vinny Pasquantino. We'll talk about the Chiefs and everything else around the NFL next with Vinny.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Subscribe and download all new episodes of Nick's Waving in the Wheat podcast, released every Thursday on the 435 Podcast Network and the Odyssey app.
If you need new windows, you need the window source of Kansas City. They're a locally owned father and son team who you can trust with your home project. So much so that this is now the third project I'm working on with them. They did a new entry door for me, a new Pro V entry door last year, because we wanted something that stood on the front of the house. Now we're getting the shutters to match, which is great. And now we're having them put a new big picture window over the garage and our front room because we don't have enough light in the house, to be honest, and we wanted kind of a feature of that room. We trust them to do those projects because the difference we've gotten in our new windows from the window source of Kansas City. Not only a 30% reduction in our heating bill from the same time before we had it, and that it cost us pretty much the same as it did to cool and heat our old home, which was a third of the size. Those things are all big, but it's the stuff that makes you feel good about it. Lifetime warranty, best price guarantee. Had a little rip in one of the screens, no big deal. Lifetime warranty. The flex screen so I could take them out for the winter. Got it replaced. I mean, it was really that simple. If you have any problems, they're easy to get a hold of because they're a small, locally owned team. If you need new windows, give my guy Pierce a call. 913-333-6706. Or if you're in Lawrence or Topeka, call Gary, 785-320-2045, or head over to windowsourceofkc.com.
This holiday, give the people you treasure something they'll treasure, a gift from Shane Company. Our unique jewelry makes a spectacular gift. I'm Tom Shane. One of my favorites is an elegant necklace featuring a colorful east-west gemstone with diamond accents for $250. We offer it in 4 different gemstones, so you can select a color she loves. Choose red garnet, purple amethyst, sky blue topaz, or yellow citrine. Another favorite are diamond huggy earrings for $1,145. I picked these hoops because they fit close to the ear and are great for any occasion. Select either white gold, yellow gold, or rose gold. Our link necklace at $525 is a favorite because the diamond accents give the gold a touch of sparkle. Visit us for more gifts at a great value. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Get more kicks out of every World Soccer match with FanDuel. Soccer fans, now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot because new customers get $125 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and simple, easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to goals scored to corners. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. Best of all, you get paid your winnings instantly. So don't miss your chance to get $125 in free bets, win or lose, when you join FanDuel with promo code 610BOB. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued on non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Slow internet is nonsense. For fast internet, switch to Spectrum Business. Thousands of consumer-initiated tests confirm Spectrum delivers the fastest speed in the nation. That's right, Spectrum delivers the fastest internet speeds in the nation. Switch to Spectrum Business and get 600 megabit per second internet for your business. Only $49.99 a month when bundled. No hidden fees, no contracts, no nonsense. Just the fastest internet speeds in the nation. Visit business.spectrum.com/ultra. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Gomer's has all you need for holidays and game days. Voted Casey's #1 liquor store year after year. It's Gomer's mission to be the best in price, selection, and service. 5 convenient locations in the KC Metro. Or shop online at gomers.com for curbside or delivery.
What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address,